Hi, welcome to Malvern Books, and thank you all so much for coming on a kind of overcast day, but we're glad to have you here on just our last reading before Christmas, and it should be a very, very exciting Sunday afternoon. I know I've been looking forward to this for a long time. We're going to start today with Abe Louise Young. Abe Louise is an award-winning poet and educator whose work explores creative contact and liberation. She lives in Austin, Texas, and holds an MFA from the University of Texas, where she was a James A. Michener Fellow in Writing. Her poetry essays have recently appeared in The Nation, the Christian Science Monitor, Massachusetts Review, and 30-plus other publications. You busy. She has won a Narrative Poetry Prize, an Academy of American Poets Prize, a Grolier Poetry Prize, and others. Thank you so much for reading today. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to say about my bio, the Christian Science Monitor is a secular publication, just in case anyone heard that and was curious. It's really exciting to be in Malvern Books. I feel like this bookstore has single-handedly transformed and opened up a whole new landscape for poetry in Austin. And then being here inside this little wooden cabin to read is very comforting. Makes me want to put a bed right here. Just reach you from there. So I want to start off by reading a poem by Lucille Clifton. We're at such an incredible moment in our history where our country is really coming into awareness and new contact with the realities of white supremacy. And this poem by Lucille Clifton celebrates existence, just the sheer work of existence as a Black woman. Won't you celebrate with me? Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay. My one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. Lucille Clifton. Before I read, I'd like to ring a little bell just to mark that time is shifting into poetry time. And it's also the winter solstice, the longest night ever in our entire planetary history. So relax. So in a time when death is very present and very in front of our eyes, we celebrate birth and the birth that comes from nothingness, darkness, mothers of beauty. Wallace Stevens says, death is the mother of beauty. But I have exquisite dreams where my ovaries and fallopian tubes bloom like irises. The mother of death is beauty. Mother, beauty, death, beauty, mother. Let's drop the death part out. Beauty, mother. My will, like your will, has permeable edges and is as much about encryption and description as action. Joy and grief are transient, and the word vagina could replace the word generation, as in 29 mothers ago is 29 vaginas ago, and from her stolid body commitments, her raging lusts, and her defiance of a dust bowl, you spring, ringing your bell down 29 rungs of the ladder. You made the genetic leap of grace from the last vagina to her 2 hands, and from there to a metal scale, a washcloth, a cotton blanket, a breast, amazing grace, a helix, a healing. Let this pause be your place of utmost importance. Since we've already invoked vaginas, I'm going to continue with Ode to Alternative Insemination. And I call it alternative, although it's called artificial in the medical world. I don't think there's anything artificial about doing it for yourself. Ode to Alternative Insemination. At any mention of lesbians having children, my ovaries start competing and crowing for attention. I read the announcement printed on cotton, knock back my breakfast juice, and walk into the street to toast the new mothers with an empty glass. I raise my empty glass because I know there are fountains of sperm going off all over the world. It's like Versailles out there. Rococo, 24/7, no monuments needed. It's sheer geysers, a natural resource, humble, anonymous, glorious. Imagine the plumage in the bathroom stalls and public parks. Who needs to pay doctors $500 for a vial in a freezer? My breasts begin to burst with nurturance. My emotions are ecstatic little dogs dancing on their hind legs. Work it on up, boys, high in the air, and let me catch some. Shoot it into my front yard, from Paris, from Dallas, from Dakar, El Salvador, from an airplane, a rowboat, a car. I don't care. Just let me catch some. Thank you. In my effort to entice people to come to this reading, I did tell them that there was going to be tango in the second act. And thank God it's in the second act so that you don't expect me to be more coordinated than I am. In my effort to let people know what I really wanted to share about, I said that I would read a new poem about homelessness in Austin. Homelessness in America, but specifically homelessness in Austin. And this poem is based on conversations and relationships that I've had with people who live outside in our city. Ode to the Unhomed. 1. Carla on the corner says, I feel sad for the 2 men in the walk sign. I look up, one in green, striding confident, one in red, tense and compressed, and every 2 minutes they switch. Or is it one man in the walk sign with rapid cycling bipolar disorder? So many things are in twos, but rarely do the petals of a black rose open like butterfly wings. Carla sees 2 men in the walk sign, and she feels badly for them. As lonely hearts bleat and sing to the traffic meadows from their fenced-in gardens, as lonely hearts on steep grades live under overpasses, so lonely the unhomed in ones and twos and whos, and sometimes with a dog. 2. How are you, rusty old nail bent almost in a spiral? How are you, stubby yellow pencil end? I pass you both as gifts to the woman at the bus stop who says the bus stop where she lives is a hexagram of the Pentagon, and she gets her orders from the men in the box across the street that says walk or stop. I give her the nail and the pencil. Nail and pencil, how are you 2 today? Are you feeling newly useful in your new home? 3. On Fiesta Street, which is my street where I live, on Fiesta Street, 2 old women live in a Toyota Camry with fold-down back seats. They are wife and wife of 17 years, and they share 1 pair of reading glasses. They wave at kids and cook on a hot plate plugged into the cigarette lighter. It is rare that 2 so dehomed can stay so twosome, so close in bosom, and so I sing their praises. If black folk perish, America will perish, says Richard Wright. 4. Why are you obsessed with the bottom-feeding catfish? My father asks. Oh, please, give me a new amygdala. This one is a punchline from a dirty old man's dirty joke. I just want to kiss lips quietly and not detonate. from anyone's lonely 1970s grab at my diapers. That's why, asshole. 5. I wrapped mosquito netting around the hammock on the back porch so Carla, when schizophrenic, can sleep there without getting beaten up. She shows, without getting bitten up. She shows so much gratitude, I taste hibiscus flowers in her eyes. 6. I want to tell you about a beautiful day for Lester living on the sidewalk. He says, the baby in the stroller outside the dollar store holds a pecan out to the pit bull tied up to the parking meter. The pit bull takes it in his mouth, cracks and cracks the shell with geometric bites. It's so friendly and so sweet. And then the baby's sweet-smelling afro puffs attract a monarch butterfly. Thank you. I want to read you a poem called Forget Making Your Bed. And the great arts supporter, arts aficionado, and Boston Chronicle editor Wayne Allen Brenner saved this poem for me. I wrote it on Facebook, and then I was like, oh my God, what a terrible poem. Let me delete it. And so I deleted it. But Wayne Allen Brenner, in the meantime, had copied it as my post and saved it. And then a few years later, he was making an anthology and some creative work, and he was like, can I put your poem, Forget Making Your Bed, in there? And I was like, I've forgotten that poem completely. I don't have such a poem. And he says, I have it. So he had it. And he screen printed it onto pillowcases, which are, some of those are available in the back. And this poem comes out of, I lead writing and creativity workshops, and I also work as a book coach with people who are near the end of their manuscripts and need someone to be accountable to, and need a kick in the ass, or need like a gentle hug, or whatever they need. And so this poem is directed to those who have a creative vision and need support manifesting it, which is all of us. Who am I kidding? So I really wrote this to myself. Forget making your bed. Make your desk instead. Let your bed sheets lie rumpled on the floor with pillows underneath them, like elephants in the bellies of snakes. Let your bed sheets lie rumpled on the floor with your dirty jeans and your stuffed animals and your water glass tipped over on top. Forget making your bed. Put the pages of your desk in order. Line up the sheets from head to foot. Smack the dust and grit off. Shelve the books. Make your bet that what you've got to write might crack a boulder like a light bulb, that a cone of butterflies might stream out, that your words could make a person you've never met want to give birth immediately. See those piles of old notebooks, those Post-it notes, those envelopes with little plastic windows, those job application folders, those nests of screws and nails and grommets, those bits, those condom packets, those coupons for bulk soy milk. Take it all and throw it out. Clear the space entirely, then wax it. Dream at your desk and work your mind through its torque. Mime the regular simplicity of milking a goat every day, twice, morning and night. A squirt of hot milk will puddle in the metal pail. And if you don't milk it, the goat will scream. Have you guys ever seen a goat that hasn't been milked? Very unhappy. So pull the stream of milk down, thin as a thread. Fill the pail, pour it in the pot, turn on the flame. Stir the milk slowly so it turns to cream and butter, then heat it to cheese, and the poem's begun. Memory sits down, your old farmer, takes off his weathered, sweaty hat. Out of the sun, in your company, ready to talk. Put out a loaf of bread and write it all down. After dinner and you bid him adieu, put your head where your feet should be and hold the bedpillows to your chest and pretend you hold a body, soft and trusting, someone who's not going to leave at morning light. And these are your readers, the ones you need, the ones you are lonely and brittle adrift without, the other mammals full of feathers like you, who miss their mothers like you, who are ringed all around with zippers like you, who are indented and sometimes passive like you, but not tonight. Tonight is big and empty on your desk. Touch your blank paper with your fingertips. Feel the paper that used to be trees and seed and soil and water and sun, which used to be your grandmother's voice and her breath buried in light without a box. This paper will lead you to your readers. You might never know them. You might die before they're born. But tonight, hold them tight. Make your desk sprout leaves and sing. Make it feel like a sapling. And I have two more poems to read, and they are, I was in a love friendship, poetry collaboration friendship with my dearest friend who was a poet who lived in Chicago named Alan Shefsky, and he passed away in May of a brain tumor, which he wrote about in this chapbook I published called Glee. So that's the happy egg, and then this little smashed egg, so before and after. And we, over the last 12 years, would give each other poetry exercises and have to do them in 48 hours. And this one was Ode to a Bee, and being ever witty, he transformed it to Ode to B12, some B12 injections. Ode to B12. Oh, to be 12. To be 12 bees buzzing, 12 bees in a hive, alive. To have the verve, to be as a 12-year-old is busy, blasé. But was I ever blasé? Oh, to be on a bicycle buzzing a regular boy, as I wasn't, or was I? Oh, to have being, to have been built a strong body 12 ways, to be in all ways brave as a bee is brave, to have ever and always my honeyed days. And I'll close out with this poem, Remembering. I'm constantly remembering things I must do, and constantly forgetting them. It must be that I have many things to do. I must constantly be having things to do. I must have many things to constantly do. Oh, forgive me, God, of getting things done. I am a failure at the absence of forgetfulness. I am incomplete in the act of completion. This is a competition in which I can no longer compete. Yet it all remains completely sweet. Thank you all so much again, and thank you to Malvern Books, and thank you to Mong-Lan for being my co-reader today.